Hey everyone, in this video I will be showing you on how you can deploy your Python application to an Azure Web App. So I am in my Azure portal. So first what I will be doing is I will create a web app in my Azure environment. So in the global search, I will first search for app services. Click on the create dropdown and select web app. First we need to create a resource group. So I will provide a name for my resource group. Name it as Neo RG. Click on OK. Provide a name for my web app. I'll name it as Neo Python Web App. Alright, this name is acceptable, so I got a green tick. I will leave the default settings here. Now I will be creating a separate video in detail on the Azure Web App service itself, whereas in this video we'll be only focusing on how you can deploy a specific Python application to your web app. Alright, so I would not be going over the settings in detail. So on the runtime stack, I'll scroll down and I will select my Python version. As for region, I will choose the North Europe location. You can choose the region of your choice. So this will automatically create an app service plan. As for the pricing plan, I will just go for the basic, since we will be deploying a sample application and nothing much complicated. Click on database. I will not be creating a database here. As for deployment, you can leave everything else as default in the deployment section. Same for the networking. You can leave every other setting as default and just head over to the review plus create page. Alright, click on create. The deployment is in progress. Alright, my web deployment is completed. I'll click on go to resource. Let me check the web app URL. Alright, so my web app is running and I'm able to see the host page. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be deploying our custom code to our web app. Now this is a GitHub repository which is publicly available, and this contains all the code that is necessary to run an application to your web app. I will leave the link to the repository in the description. So I'll click on code and I will download it as zip file. Once it is downloaded, I'll extract this. Next, let me open my Visual Studio application. I'll open the downloaded folder. So this is the Python code that we will be deploying to our web app. Next, I will sign into my Azure account. So before that, you need to make sure you have all the extensions installed in your Visual Studio application. So head over to extensions, search for Azure. when you search for Azure Tools, this is the extension that you will need to install. So I have already installed this, so I would not be doing that step over here. And you can also install the Python extension just in case you want to test it in your local environment. You will have to install the Python extension. So I'll skip this process because I'll be directly deploying this code to the web app since it's already functional. Now next, I'll click on the Azure icon on the left. So once you have installed the Azure Tools extension, you will automatically see this icon on the left. So I'll click on Sign in to Azure. I will provide my credentials. So you need to click on Sign in to tenant. Select your tenant name over here. Click on Allow. Provide in your credentials again. So I have successfully logged into my Azure account through Visual Studio Code. I'll expand my subscription here on the left. I'm able to see different kind of service categories over here. So my web app falls under the app services. So I'll expand app services. And this is my web app. Click on my web app. Let me right click this and click on deploy to web app. From the top, it will give you a drop down and you need to select the folder that you plan on deploying to your web app. So just select this folder. This is where I have all my files. It will ask you, would you like to update your workspace configuration to run build commands on the target server? I'll click on yes. I'll hit on deploy. Let me close all these pop-ups. Alright, so my build is completed and the application code has been successfully deployed to my web app. So if I go into my Azure portal, I will click on the domain URL. But you will still see that the hosting page is the same. It is not updating as per our application code. By default, the web app is programmed to display this default homing page. So we need to mention in the web app to redirect to our application code. And for that, let me go back to my Visual Studio Code. I will hit on the Explorer button on the left, and there is a file within the folder named as startup.sh. So this is the command that needs to be executed in the web app to start up our application. So this needs to be added to the stack settings in the web app. So copy this. I'll head over to my web app and search for configuration. So under the configuration, general settings, there is a dialog box named as startup command. So this is where you need to paste the code. All the other settings as default. I'll hit on save. Click on continue. Once that is completed, I'll head over to the overview page. Let me restart my web app. Once the restart is completed, you can click on the URL again and test it. So when I search for the web app URL, I'm able to see my application running fine. So we were able to successfully deploy our Python application from our Visual Studio to the Azure Web App resource. So thanks for watching, and if you guys found the video useful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next one.